Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone, my name is Nursyafikha bin KAMARRUDIN, and today I would like to share a little bit about one of the important institutions in Malaysia which governs about the Syariah court affairs and also management, which we call as the Department of Syariah and Judiciary Malaysia, or we can also call it as Jabatan Kehakiman Syariah Malaysia (Jksm). Want to know more about these institutions regarding the background, objectives, roles and function, and also implications and so on? Let's take a look in this video. Right, so let's take a look at the history of the establishment of Jksm in Malaysia first. We have already known that Islamic law has long been implemented and practiced by a majority of the Malay people even before the integrations of mereka, right? And that's why when we want to structuring the Malaysian legal system, we also need to take into account the Islamic law rulings because it's being practiced by majority of the Malay people in Malaysia, and also it is regarded as Malay customary law. And after integrations of Malaysia, we have divided the courts into two types, which is the civil court and also Syariah courts. And we also rule out many acts to administer these courts, and one of it is the Court Judiciary Act 1964. The implementations of the Court Judiciary Act 1964, which gave the power to the civil courts to reverse the decision of the Syariah courts, has shown that the Syariah court was subordinate to the civil court, and this is one of the problems that we have suffered or encountered during that time. And we also need to note that prior to the restructurings of the Syariah courts in 1996, there was no proper mechanisms or plan to administer the Syariah court system effectively and efficiently. And this is like one of the reasons why we want to establish the Jksm during that time. On 3rd July 1996, the cabinet meeting has already agreed with the proposed reorganization of the Syariah court throughout Malaysia, and this will lead to the establishment of the Department of Syariah and Judiciary Malaysia (Jksm) on 1st March 1998. During the proposed reorganization Syariah court, there are 6 major that already been laid out and we need to follow. The first is to establish Jksm by the federal government headed by the Syariah Court Judge of Malaysia, which is also head of a guna sama service scheme for Syariah officers. Second is to create an organizational structures of Jksm. Third is to create 4 posts of Judge of the Syariah Appeal Court to reconsider the appeal cases at the appeals courts in the states and also federal territories. Fourth is to maintain the structure of the state Syariah courts and that of federal territories, including the commissioning of the Syariah Judge of Syariah officers. Fifth is to create a guna sama service schemes for Syariah officers, and the last one is that federal government will bear the cost of the Syariah officers. Actually, the study paper and recommendation laid out on 3rd July 1996 were produced by a committee chaired by Yang Berbahagia Tun Ahmad Sarji bin Abdul Hamid, and as a result of the committee studies, it has recommended several proposals that I have mentioned before, including the establishment of department at the federal level, namely the Malaysian Syariah and Judiciary Department. And the inaugurations of the department was officiated by Yang Berhormat Datuk Paduka Dr. Abdul Hamid bin Osman, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, on 15 December 1998. And actually, at the beginning of its establishment, the Department of Syariah and Judiciary Malaysia had only 15 positions headed by the Director General or Chief Syariah Judge and several officers consisting of the Chief Registrar, Administrative and Diplomatic Officers, and several other support officers. Institution must have things that they want to achieve and also what the basis principle of the institutions. So let's take a look at the motto, vision and mission of the Jksm. The motto is that Syariah is the basis of justice, and the vision of Jksm is to make a central agency that is competent to realize the standardizations of the Islamic legal system to uphold justice. And the missions of the Jksm is to streamline the provisions of Islamic law throughout the country and manage appeal cases effectively and systematically. Actually, what is the objective for the establishment of the Department of Syariah and Judiciary Malaysia? So the first objective is that to establish Islamic law related to administrations and also set a standard practice for Syariah court that will be adopted by all states. So by that, we can provide a uniformity regarding the administrations and also management in the Syariah court. Second is to ensure that the appeal court cases are managed in a fair, efficient and also organized manner, so that we can ensure the systematic system that will govern for the Syariah court in Malaysia. Third is to maximize the use of information technology systems widely to facilitate the smooth running of administrations, which is by maximizing the current technological advances and also platforms so that we can give out more information and also provide more services. Fourth is to ensure that all states use the guna sama service scheme for Syariah officers. Right, so next, let's discuss the role and functions of the Department of Syariah and Judiciary Malaysia. First, the main functions of this department is to handling Syariah Court of Appeal cases in Malaysia and formulating policies and strategies to improve and enhance the performance of the Syariah courts of the state. Because we know that the Syariah judiciary, the main function is to govern or administrate the Syariah court throughout all states in Malaysia. Second is to coordinate judicial procedures for adoptions in the states by controlling and evaluating the programs and activities of the Syariah courts of the state that have adopted the Federal Syariah Officers Shared Service scheme, or we call it as Guna Sama Service schemes. Alright, the third is build and coordinate rules and practice instructions as well as regulations to all Syariah officers in Jksm, state and other relevant agencies, and also administer the use of electronic information system in Jksm, state and also related agencies. So we can see from these three functions is actually the main is regarding the administration and also management, not only for the Syariah courts but also Syariah officers and also related agencies that relate with the Syariah management. So the next three functions of Jksm is that first, to manage the development and human capital needs in Jksm, state and related agencies, and second, to also carry out research related to the Syariah legal and judicial system in accordance with current development. So we can see that it's not only to govern the affairs of Syariah matters only, but also to govern the Syariah officers' needs and also other Syariah officers that related under the jurisdiction of the Syariah Judicial Department. And also they have the responsibility to carry out research so that the current the Islamic legal system that we have practiced in the Malaysia is the current and also updated one, because we could not deny that they must have some development in law. So they are the one that have the responsibility to carry out the legal and also judicial research to enhance the legal and system of Syariah. Alright, second is to develop an information resource center and publication related to the Syariah legal and judicial system to provide scholarly reference materials to Syariah officers throughout Malaysia and the public. So they must to acquire all the potential platforms that we have along with the technological advances right now, right? So for example, like the Syariah, they must to come up with a new advancements to enhance the communication, also informations given to the publics and Syariah officers. The last one is to regulate maintenance and audit issued by the Syariah court through enforcement actions and execution of orders and distributing maintenance advances to eligible customers while enforcement actions and execution of orders are completed in the Syariah court. So in this commentary section, first we will take a look what is the implication that been brought by the Jksm into the development of our Malaysian legal system. First, it forms standardizations of administrations in Syariah courts matter and also pertaining the Syariah related, such as the Syariah officers and Syariah administrations, because we have one institutions that can standardize. This can help in evaluate and also control the activities in the Syariah court. So it can make the administrations and also the smooth running of the jurisdictions in Syariah courts throughout all states. Alright, second is that this can lead to safeguard the Islamic law practices, because we have one important institution that will have the responsibility to bear the continuity of the Islamic law practices rulings in our country. Second is that it can initiate a way of management that is fair and systematic throughout states and always updated with the current development. So this fair and also systematic management is very important, especially in our development country, because law is something that can always develop, right? There is only a new development of law. So we must have institutions to evaluate and also to know make a research about these things, and Jksm can provide that things, and it makes us to always updated with the current development of law. The Syariah court is being governed according to their own respective state, right? So we must have an effective way of information management and also communication to ensure that the administration can run smoothly. So the Jksm successfully maximize the use of technological advancements to improve the services provided in information and communication management, for example by introducing the Syariah portal. So the Syariah portal is a platform where we can gain the legal information regarding the Syariah court itself, and also it provides a system where we can file the case and also referral documents can be found there. So this portal is effective issue. It can save our time, cost, and also one of the example to use that technological advancement to its fullest. Second is also because it can strengthen the knowledge and skill of Jksm staff who serving at the headquarters and in the states, because they frequently hold training development for their staff to ensure the services provided by them are the best. So the fourth is to uphold Islamic law by proposing to upgrade the Syariah court from 3 levels of courts to 5 levels of court as practiced in the civil court. This is one of the proposals made by the Jksm, and this shows that the role of Jksm is very important, because they are the institution that can make legal research regarding this, and also one of the institutions that can voice out so that we can hold justice for both civil courts and also Sharia courts. For example, in this matter. In conclusion, we can see that Jksm is a vital institution in formulating strategies for the administration of the Sharia court to be more orderly, efficient, and also proficient. We can see that various measures have been actively sought and proposed by the Jksm to elevate the Sharia court to be in line with the development of the civil court and also to make them more easy accessible to the publics. And however, there is still room for improvement and consolidation, which is to give greater and more comprehensive powers to ensure justice and equality in implementing Islamic law in this country.